Welcome to Living and Loving Beach to Bay. You know my normal drill. This is where I live. This is where I play. This is where I work. This is where I thrive. Most importantly, this is where I try to share and educate and inspire all of you on everything about living and loving Beach to Bay, coastal Delaware. I'm going to expand very shortly and include coastal Maryland in that because there are certainly some beautiful, beautiful places to live, thrive, work, play in coastal Maryland. But today's video is all about the spring selling season and or buying season, because even though I'm going to focus on if you are selling a home, you really want to stay and listen if you're buying a home, because these tips that I'm going to share with you on ways to improve, whether it's your curb appeal, whether it's that first aha moment when a new potential buyer opens the door. But really stay tuned, because you're going to hear great do-it-yourself tips for the seller, but those do-it-yourself tips for the buyer, you'll be able to notice and say, oh, does that seller really engaged and care about the way their home presents, and what's the hook that's going to grab me and make me want to make an offer on that. So it's all about some really, these are not expensive, they are not complicated, they are not timely, but there are anywhere from, I think I've got about 16 tips that I'm going to share with you in this video, all do it yourself to improve your curb appeal, the aha moment when the buyers with their agent open the door, and really give your potential buyers that best impression of your home, and therefore will help your home realize an offer price that is makes you smile. So let's start right at the front door. And the front door, literally, and I'll even think about my own. I live in a community where our door colors are dictated by the HOA. We've got some reds and some beiges and some grays, etc. But it doesn't mean that you can't refresh your front door. Obviously in my community, I would have to make sure that the paint matched. But there's a few other things that you can do. Take a look at your hardware on your front door. Your hardware has gotten a little rusty or a little, maybe needs a little bit of polish. The very first thing that a buyer sees when they walk towards your home is the front door. Give it a fresh coat of paint. Tidy up the garden. Again, whether you've got acreage or whether you've got a third of an acre, or a quarter of an acre, or half an acre, tidy up the garden. Pull those weeds, trim some of those, tired or winter dying branches, etc. Tidy up the garden. The other thing that you really can do is you can take a look at the garden. Is it time for it? If you've got planters outside, and I know that we're just coming off pretty tough winter, but spring is upon us, there is always something available to pop in those planters that will give a pop of color when, again, those buyers walk towards the front door. You hear this all the time: declutter and depersonalize. There is the obvious reason why you don't want pictures of yourself, your family, your children, your grandchildren, around your home. There's obviously, there's a small security concern there. You just don't want to have, real family members in frames around your home. But equally important as the security concern for that is that you've got to declutter. So anything that you remove from hard surfaces, whether it's countertops, whether it's furniture, whether it's bookcases, etc., will give the potential buyer the opportunity to imagine their own furnishings in those spaces, as well as the less clutter and the less personalization you have in a home. It really makes all rooms, etc., really open and inviting. So decluttering and depersonalizing are really huge do-it-yourself items. Donate, box it up, tuck it into a corner of the garage if you're going to be taking it onto your new home or to your new, abode, so to speak. But declutter, depersonalize, that is really a very important do-it-yourself tip. Clean carpets and floors, whether it's renting it and doing it yourself or hiring a professional to do it. Two things happen. In other words, clean carpetings give obviously, a huge lift to the home. They're also going to improve the way a home smells. I'm not trying to be disingenuous or nasty about this, but anything that has a fiber does acquire a smell. And if you have pets, which I happen to have, I've talked about Jilly and Winston from time to time, and Bethany, one of my grand pups that comes to visit. Pets have odors, so cleaning the carpeting, cleaning the floors is all very important as a do-it-yourself and will absolutely improve the appeal of your home. Sounds small, but fix leaky faucets. I can tell you, because I obviously show a lot of homes and I spend a lot of time with buyers, they turn on the faucets. Often they want to know what the water pressure is like, because we know that water pressure can be a hot button and it can be a positive or a negative depending on how the individual feels about water pressure. But if they turn on the kitchen faucet and it leaks and it sprays that way, not good. Okay, so fix those leaky faucets. This one sometimes gets a little pushback from people when we talk about neutralizing bold colors. So when I was raising my family, I had children who wanted purple walls and green walls and blue walls and this, that, and the other thing. I personally happen to now live in a home that has an extremely neutral color palette, wall palette. But if you've got bright walls or if you've done that pop-up color, I would strongly encourage you to neutralize it. So, on the off chance that someone walks in and loves that magenta wall or loves that fuchsia wall or loves that evergreen wall, they are few and far between. The majority of individuals are looking for neutral walls where they can, again, imagine their furnishings and their taste, appointments in the home without bold pops of color. While I was an art major and I certainly have guided many a seller on how to place furniture, what I can tell you is sometimes you do want to consult with someone who is a staging expert, something that I certainly offer to all of my listing clients, my sellers, but staging furniture very strategically so that rooms look open and inviting and bigger is clearly a very creative way to stage your home. The other thing that can also help really make a home look extraordinarily inviting is fresh flowers. So I do not have green thumbs, and I'll be honest with you. So I don't, matter of fact, there's a plant behind me that I probably twisted in a certain direction so you couldn't see some of the dying leaves. I'm really, really good with Christmas cactuses because they take nothing other than about a small watering once a month, but I do not have a green thumb. So I don't have a lot of greenery in my own personal home, but I think that fresh flowers, and actually the experts say fresh flowers do add a really inviting component, whether it's the dining room table, whether it's the foyer, whether it's, tucked into a great position in your kitchen. It does absolutely add some ambiance. And here's a very inexpensive little tip, okay? You can replace the hardware on your cabinet doors and drawers in your kitchen or your pantry, and that is going to give your cabinets a quick facelift. Especially, and I actually did this when I sold my home right outside of Philadelphia when I was transitioning to the beach. I actually had a kitchen. There was a time when it was rare that cabinets and drawers had hardware on them. Well, I added hardware to all of my kitchen drawers and cabinet. I didn't do it. I hired a little handy person to do it because I'm not so great with a drill, but it really did give a quick update to my kitchen cabinet. So that's another do-it-yourself tip. One of the places in our homes that caulk, I think it disintegrates. Okay, I don't know. I probably don't have the absolute scientific, answer there. But the caulk around your tubs, the caulk around your sink areas, your vanities, the caulk around your showers, it does get old and tired. So for, $9, $10, one of those caulk guns, etc. Probably not called a gun, it's probably called an applicator. But you can recaulk your showers, your tubs, your vanities, your sinks, etc. And that's going to give your powder rooms a real quick facelift as well. Maximizing natural light. You want to open the windows, you want to open the blinds. I use a professional photographer, or my brokerage does, and obviously I'm part of the brokerage. So we use a professional photographer to shoot all of our listing photos. And one of the first things that he does when he walks into the home, he opens every blind. If I have plantation shutters off to my side, he would open those. If I truly don't have a lot of valances or window treatments, I happen to like the simplicity of plantation blinds or blinds, etc. I just like the very simple way that looks. But if I had valances, if I had drapes or curtains, he would open all of them. So again, natural light is an immediate lift. It opens up your home, it invites it, and it really makes it feel bigger. So that's what natural light does. So that's just another tip. Now, this can be inexpensive or expensive depending on what you are looking for, but mirrors, and I'm not talking mirrored walls, okay, but I'm talking accent mirrors can often give rooms different vantage points. So if you've, got some blank spaces in your home that you're thinking to yourself, what could I do relatively inexpensively as a quick do-it-yourself to enhance that room? Consider a mirror, consider a small collage of mirrors or a large collage of mirrors. No, I am not talking about going out and doing mirrors from the woodwork on the bottom to the chair rail or to the crown molding. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mirrors as an accent. And then my final tip, okay, and again, if you've enjoyed this, you know what I'm going to say. Subscribe, stick around, more videos coming every week. Scents, and that is SCNTS, scents. So while I'm not a plant and flower girl, meaning flowers that you grow, I am a candle person. So I happen to think, matter of fact, one of my favorite, and they're certainly not inexpensive, but are Nest candles, N-E-S-T. They are unbelievable. They burn forever. And one of those large 3-wick candles, which rather pricey, but they will transform your entire home. But there are many others, whether it's Yankee Candle, whether it's a soy candle made for, sandy bottom candles made right here in coastal Delaware. So there are lots of ways to do it less expensively than a Nest candle. Scents. So adding some scent to your home will also create a very inviting and change the atmosphere and the dynamic when clients, potential clients who may want to buy your home. And if you follow all of those, I think we did 16 do-it-yourself tips on this video. So even if you only do 2, 3, 4, if you go for the whole McGill and do all 16, I would put the Living and Loving Beach to Bay guarantee that is going to be good for the overall appeal of your home. And I would expect that offers will be coming your way. And wouldn't that be wonderful? So if you've enjoyed this, it's Debbie. You know what I'm going to say. I live here. I play here. I work here. I thrive here. Living and Loving Beach to Bay. There's just no better place. And I hope that you're going to stick around for another video or even really make me smile and subscribe. Take care.